It is leak season once again. But before we get into it, my name is Voidwalker Joe, and I wanted to bring up that there is a referral bonus happening until May 2nd for anybody who is looking to get into the game. If you use the code that is up on the screen, or anybody else's, when you make an account and buy a game package, you'll get a free P52 Merlin and some starting cash. It's also worth noting that this Merlin can be upgraded to anything you want in the future, and it comes with LTI. Alright, moving on. So, all of these leaks come from the Pipeline Discord, but have also been posted on Reddit, which I will have the link for in the description below. Now, everything we talk about will mostly be speculation and my own opinion. So if I get anything wrong, or you just want to share your thoughts in the speculation, then please comment down below. And if you like this kind of thing, I will be doing more of these videos in the future, so please like and subscribe. It means a lot. It's been about 6 months since I did a video like this, but as of last night, 3.19 was put into Evocati for testing. And for those who don't know, 3.19 is essentially just another 3.18 patch with some extra meat on it, also bringing with it Invictus launch week. According to the leaked posters up on the screen, Invictus is going to go from May 19th through the 26th, and DefenseCon following it from the 27th of May through the 30th of May. Now, all of this is going to be held at Area 18, which is on the planet ArcCorp. And that's very interesting because we haven't had Invictus at Area 18 in years. And it makes perfect sense because with 3.19, we are getting the new player experience at ArcCorp, which will help out new players in their first 30 minutes of getting into the game. Now, what does that new player experience actually look like? Well, with a mixture of these leaks and what CIG has already talked about, it looks like we're going to get a bunch of new tutorials, as well as Area 18 signage getting a much needed update, which you can see some of on the screen right now. As for the tutorial, there is footage, which I'm not going to show, but I do have a screenshot up. It does appear that it is a little broken and is in need of some polish. And it definitely seems like the tutorial kind of shows you inputs based on what you're doing in the moment, which I definitely wish I had when I first started playing the game. Now, what you see on the screen here is just a bunch of text that was data mined that kind of gives you an indication where they're going for the tutorial in the game. Some of these you might see, some of these you might not. We'll have to wait and see. Next up, there was a voice line that was added to the game that mentioned a Bengal Carrier actually docking with a station. Now, in the past, there has been a Javelin that docked at a station, and we got to take a tour of the inside. So, here's hopes to maybe touring the inside of a Bengal Carrier. Alright, so something small that has been added to the main menu is a Find a Guide button, which if you click the link, it'll take you to your browser window and take you to the RSI website where you can find a guide. I'm glad they did this personally because the website isn't really that easy to navigate for a new player. So hopefully this helps. Okay, now on to something a little bit more interesting. We have some new missions to talk about. Here you can see the first one we're talking about is Data Heist. Now, reading the tag names, we could see that we have a data server terminal, intrusion terminal, server rack, main terminal, and a hack skip card. From what we understand from past Inside Star Citizens is you're going to access a terminal. Someone's going to be able to stop you from accessing that terminal. And to add to this, it says the hack skip card is used in a data heist to tag the card that is used to instant access the main terminal. So this is pretty cool. I'm excited for it, and I think I'll be doing this mission quite a lot when it comes out. Next up is a little news on Salvage contract missions and the fact that it's apparently going to have some loot in the inside of them other than components and weapons you're going to be able to detach with your multi-tool. It's kind of made to seem like maybe these are boxes with weapons, armor, or food and drink. We're just going to have to wait and see until we get our hands on it. Some additional information is that a salvage contract for battlefields will cost 150k Alpha UEC. Obviously, that's a little spendy for one person, but this is where friends and orgs come in. So if that's too much for you, you could always pool money together, or if someone's willing to cover the cost, then they can. We're going to have to wait and see how much these battlefield contracts might actually net you in the end. The next mission we're going to talk about is actually the Siege of Orison dynamic event. There seems to be an update to it, according to some leaked audio files, where Rowena Dooley actually informs you that there are enough people playing the event and you don't need to participate. So if this means that we're going to be getting a player limit on the dynamic event, I think it's pretty good, because I personally get pretty frustrated when I just join an event and it's almost over, and then I have to end up either server hopping or waiting 30 minutes to an hour on that server for it to start going off again. Also, for Siege of Orison, it looks like you're going to be able to be an unaffiliated hostile or an independent contractor opposite to the civilian defense force. So if you don't want to play the good guy, maybe this is your chance. What this entails when you accept this, who knows? But I'm sure we'll find out. All right, moving away from missions and going into some ship talk. We have the Tumbril Storm, which is a new ground vehicle. We have the Misk Fury, which has a variant called the Miru. Now, there's nothing on the Tumbril, but the Misk Fury and its variant, there is a little bit of information and some assumptions based on what we can see in the data mined material. The Misk Fury actually has 0G enter and exit animations, which would most likely make it a single-seater fighter. As for the variant, the Miru, there has been some rough translations going around, and in Japanese, it looks like it means to look after. But when I looked it up, I saw that there is a Polynesian mythology where Miru actually means goddess of death. Now, for me, this is the only translation that kind of makes sense in my head, because when I think about it, this ship is going to be at Invictus, which is a military showcase. So, Goddess of Death would be a fitting name for the Fury variant. So, I'm going to go on a limb here, and I kind of feel like this might be Misk's answer to something along the lines of what the Talon is and its variant. So, if the Miru does in fact mean Goddess of Death, then maybe it is a bomber. Because along with these leaks, we also got a glimpse of size 5 bombs called the Storm Burst. These bombs almost sound like they might be cluster bombs, but we'll have to wait and see. The last ship we're going to talk about is possibly an alien ship, because it goes by something I'm probably going to botch here, but the Soylent? I don't know. But the Discord did bring up a very good point that this sounds like a Xi'an ship, possibly made by Gatak, the manufacturer that makes the Raylan. As you can see, the name Raylan and Soylent is very identical. Soy means fly, and Len means without issues. So when you put those together, fly without issues, it does make a lot of sense in Xi'an. The name meaning fly without issues also fits if this is a ship that can defend itself very well. All right, now we're down to the last category here. So we have a new Hand Mineable and a handful of new items. This new Hand Mineable is called Janelite, and it says that this rare mineral is valued as an industrial antimatter precursor. While more stable than other precursors like phenolin, its tougher structure and energy resistance makes it much more difficult to utilize as well as collect. So I don't know what this means for hand mining this thing and how it's going to actually impact how you go about it, but it seems like it's probably not stable, but cool nonetheless. So the next items that we got here are the mugs that we actually saw not too long ago in a, I believe it was the Inside Star Citizen Sprint report that they last came out with. There are 3 new mugs: Big Benny's, Finley the Stormwall, and Star Kitten. Not too exciting, but still kind of cool. I am going to definitely collect all of the Big Benny's mugs that I see in the verse. We also got a new smoke grenade by Razumov Rehabilitation Systems. The Haze smoke grenade is a perennial bestseller in RRS's line of non-lethal armaments. The device is designed to hinder enemy sight and sound by spreading smoke over a large area that will gradually dissipate over a few seconds. Now, I can see smoke grenades being effective in PvP missions, but when it comes to PvE, the AI is kind of borked, and I don't think these smoke grenades will really do anything, because they're just going to keep shooting. They're going to know where you're at anyway, regardless of the smoke, or they don't respond at all. Either way, they should be pretty fun to use. In the last little bit here, we have some sub-flare. We have a Banu Thalo, which I'm not sure what a Thalo is, but the description reads, a small 3-sided token representative of Casa, the Banu patron of luck. Spinning the Thalo reveals an answer meant to help guide the user during decision making. This particular Thalo has been translated into common. The next one is dice. The description reads, this 6-sided die houses a rotating sphere covered in blue and red lights. When rolled, one of the 2 colors will display on the upper face of the die, helping the user to make binary decisions. This doesn't really seem like anything all that useful in game other than settling disputes between friends. All right, so speculation time is over. I want to say thank you to everybody. I really appreciate you guys sticking around. And if you like this kind of thing, please like and subscribe. I love doing this kind of stuff. I love learning new things, and I would like to keep going. So your support means a lot to me. And again, thank you. And I'll see you, hopefully, in a part 2. See you later.